So I've primarily been working on this styrofoam drawing the general outline and then coloring it in, adding detail, picking whichever designs and colors felt right to me. This was the last thing I worked on before Dad and I, around 6 p.m., went out for some driving practice, and then afterwards we went to Salvatore's. I worked on this styrofoam drawing while mostly listening to YouTube videos. And when I was more casual about working on it, checking up on the Congregate Games sword fight and on Elvenar. I currently can't show Elvenar because last time I refreshed, they were undergoing maintenance to improve the gaming experience. These are some of the Sharpie markers I used to work on the newest styrofoam drawing project today. I might go for a Korea veteran hat, and for the shirt, some kind of plaid design. I think I'm gonna use hues of red and orange for the boots, though. Figured I would do something different and more detailed. Dad put fiery puri spice on this pizza. We took both pizzas home from Salvatore's. I think we were there from roughly 7 p.m. to about 8:45 p.m. It's currently 9:09 p.m. This one's my pizza. The medium pizza, or large pizza, I'm not 100% sure on the exact size, but it's the one I picked out the toppings for. Bacon was the automatic first topping, but to determine what the second topping would be, what the something would be, as I refer to it, something else, the bartender gave me a menu which under the pizza section included all of the toppings. And I picked out ham capicola, or hot ham, for the second topping. The fiery puri spice has a good smell to it, although I can't really detect it at this time, at least not much. I got this pizza on an Alfredo base. Dad got his on a red sauce base or a marinara sauce base. I think Alfredo is referred to unofficially as a white sauce base. Dad's toppings were bacon and cup char pepperoni. There was also a point in which I think during the afternoon I got as far as around here on the Spire of Eternity in order to complete the previous task set. I didn't complete it until quite a bit into the afternoon because I wanted to focus on working on the latest styrofoam drawing project. As for the color of the hat, for that styrofoam drawing, I might pick somewhere between beige and a sort of dirty light green. I started working on the boots at this time before I colored in the lint of the jacket because I couldn't decide on exactly what color to make the lint. I've got mountains of different color Sharpie markers that I never threw away because they started drying out, but they haven't fully dried out yet, so I just kept them. And then whenever I got new Sharpie markers, I would have a preference for the new Sharpie markers. This task always takes a whole bunch of time in order to successfully complete, but I'm always able to complete it in the end. There was also a point, I think it was in the afternoon, after I had the thing of Bob Evans mac and cheese, the whole thing at once around noon. I microwaved it for 3 minutes per the instructions, stirred it, and then microwaved it again at the midpoint of 2 minutes. Then I brought it in here. I quite liked how the Bob Evans mac and cheese was this time. It seems sometimes even though I do the same thing every time, it turns out either solid or mushy. I prefer it when it's solid. Like it was today, because when it's solid, it's more like Kraft mac and cheese is what I think of first when I think of it, but I know that Kraft mac and cheese is radically different from the Bob Evans mac and cheese. Although both are pretty good. And then I did a brief bit of work on the 99 Dan Hammond episode as I was coloring in the jacket, because this is a pretty dark color, and it's also a relatively fresh Sharpie marker. Relatively fresh enough to bleed into a lighter color such as the yellow. And then I would have to get, whenever this Sharpie marker bled into the yellow, I would have to get this Sharpie marker in order to try and smooth over the bleed-ins and try to correct the color. Try to smooth it over. To try to smooth it over by sort of blending it. Blending the dark blue / violet parts into the yellow. It's currently 9:24 p.m. and I just went outside in order to retrieve a cooler, or ice box as Dad called it, from the back seat of his car. It's right in front of the whole apartment. I took a green snow shovel, probably snow shovel, that's my guess, from the area that's right before one of the front doors, and use the axle in order to block the front door from closing so it wouldn't lock. And I wouldn't lock myself out. And the sounds Dad made, that was him making the V8 magnesium mixture. Tastes pretty good. It's currently raining. Today was, I think, in the 70s. I think it's an unusually hot day for mid-spring. It's April 25, so I think that's mid-spring here. Spring started on the 21st of March. There are also points in which it was somewhat windy. And feeling the wind on my back felt pretty nice. All of the windows were open throughout the day. I got up around 8 in the morning, and by that point, Dad had left for work. It was all sunny, as in the sun was up, the sunlight. It was an overcast day. It started raining as we headed into Salvatore's, where I showed Dad's friend and our friendly bartender my most recent styrofoam drawings. Take a picture of them using my phone, the same thing I used to record my dinner videos. At some point, the wind blew around this styrofoam piece, so I went and put it more closer to the back wall, as in the wall that's behind me. And that styrofoam piece I just showed, I'll make some kind of landscape out of it someday, but for the time being, it's just a piece I use to test out the colors of different Sharpie markers. And by the way, I had the sandwich around 4 p.m. There was a point in which I, through a YouTube video, discovered the website stick.com, which is supposed to be good for being able to get a friend to hold you accountable to a goal commitment of your choice. In this case, most likely for me, if I sign up, it would be for doing styrofoam drawings. It's currently 11:14 p.m. and sometime between the time of the previous part and now, Dad gave me a leftover slice, the last one of a thin pizza with at least pepperoni. I don't recall there being any more toppings. This was from not today's trip to Salvatore's, but I think a trip that was at least a week ago. If I recall correctly. It was a pretty good piece. I haven't signed up for stick.com yet, although while at Salvatore's, I tried to search for it on the Google Play Store to see if they had a mobile app, though at that point I had forgotten it was Stick, and I thought their name was Stack, as in stacking habits. But my first attempt at spelling it, I accidentally spelled out Slack with an extra K. Although today I also remember there being quite a bit of coffee left over, maybe about the equivalent of 3 cups, and I think I started having it maybe around within half an hour of me getting up today, so around 8:30 in the morning. I don't think I really finished it until about maybe around 3 p.m. 2 p.m. at the earliest, so I didn't really finish the coffee aside from the cup Dad saved for himself to have after work, but forgot to put his usual creamer into it, so it looked the same as one of my cups. But I was still able to distinguish because, obviously, I wouldn't use two different cups for the same beverage. That doesn't seem like that would be very practical. Also at Salvatore's, they had a new drink of the month. I'm assuming maybe that one's for May, since we're currently in late April. It's something called Grapevine, the Grapevine. It has, I think, if I recall correctly, grape-flavored vodka, cranberry juice, some lime juice, maybe some grape juice too. I don't remember the ingredients that were written in marker super duper well. Yeah, but I did remember seeing those ingredients. It was a pretty good drink, and it was the only drink I had while we were at Salvatore's. And had some fried dough. At one point, Dad gave me one of those pink paper plates of Salvatore so that I could bite into the fried dough pieces and the powdered sugar / cinnamon would land on the plate instead of my shirt, of which I wore a dark blue shirt, and so as that powdered sugar / cinnamon wouldn't land on the bar itself. And instead it landed on the plate. The driving practice before Dan and I went to Salvatore's primarily took place at around his current mailman route. And we did practice on both right and left turns, as well as easing into stops, such as at stoplights, at stop signs, and some more general practice with turns.